My name is Aaron Jones, and I'm the President and CEO of IPS Global Aviation. IPS is a company that truly cares. We put our heart and soul into this organization. We operate 24 hours a day.
Surf into summer celebrations with a wave of unforgettable gifts from Crown Jewels & Coin. For graduations, marriage proposals, and this season's tide of occasions, we have the lowest price on pre-owned Rolex watches and fine jewelry. Design your own wedding ring from the state's only Bellagio selection and choose from diamond jewelry starting at $299. Easy financing available. Catch the brightest rays and capture shining moments with a heartfelt gift from Crown Jewels & Coin. For all you treasure, San Mateo, north of Candelaria.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Creative Kill. Today we've got episode 11, and we have Dylan Hamrick. What's up, Dylan? How you doing today, my friend?
What's up, John? I'm doing pretty good, man.
Good, good. I'm your host, John Roberts, and
Ben Marshall.
And today, guys, we are super excited to have Dylan on the show with us. Dylan is I guess, how do you explain what you do? Because I'd
say underground journalism.
Okay, underground journalism. I like that. I like underground
I don't post any of the stuff. Like, I don't talk about any of the stuff that, like, the people in the city don't care about.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
kind of stuff. So I kind of just focus on what's actually going to affect everybody in the city and not what
Yeah,
the chocolate milk's
man,
gonna
I gotta
be.
tell you, I love your
You know what I
page.
mean?
I love your page. We'll get into it here in just 1 second, guys. But first, we got to plug the sponsors.
Definitely.
So we are going to jump into everything today, and we want to thank our sponsors first. Our first sponsor is going to be IPS Global Security. Thank you, IPS. You're one of the greatest security companies. It's kind of like our mini police force. We always talk about it, right, Ben?
Oh, yes. All day.
All day. Thank
Love
you so much,
IPS.
Aaron and IPS. Yeah, I know. They're great.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Our second sponsor today is going to be Crown Jewels & Coin. They are on San Mateo here in Albuquerque, guys. If you ever need any kind of jewelry repair, watches, rings, necklaces, Ben and I have been in there. It's
awesome.
They've got some crazy stuff, too. It's like, we just noticed the other day. Do you remember we were in there and they had Glock, like Glock, the brand, the gun brand? They have watches now.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love
it.
a tactical, nice watch.
Yeah, the cool watch like that. Then our third sponsor today is going to be Duke City Toys. Anything Toys, guys. We're actually doing we're going to shoot live out of their booth at the Duke City Comic Con that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're excited about that.
It's going to be fun.
Leo Martinez over at Duke City Toys. Thanks, guys. We appreciate the sponsorship. Our fourth sponsors today is going to be, obviously, 519 Studio. Thank you, 519. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us, 519 and Comcast and all the people involved here. Then we have Wolf Krusemark Art, who does all of our t-shirts, our designs. And just let me give you everybody an update on what's going on with Wolf Krusemark Art. So Wolf, everybody knows he's also one of our hosts here, but he designs all of our merch, all of our marketing material, everything we do, Wolf takes care of it. He's going to be adding a link to his page, so we do all the sales, like his t-shirts and stuff. He does some really cool horror mock-ups and horror tees, but we've got some new original Creative Kill branded shirts that's going to be coming out here in the next few weeks. There's been some contest winners and some supporters of us. We're going to be sending you guys some of those t-shirts as well. We want to thank everybody, but we're going to be having that. That's going to be really cool, man.
Yeah,
it's really neat. And then finally, we have Joy Horror Entertainment. Michael Joy Horror Entertainment does like a lot of our marketing. He helps us with our Creative Kill live show. He's got a lot of things going on. He helps indie filmmakers and indie shows get off the ground. Mike has been nothing short of amazing. Thank you, Mike. We want to appreciate everything that you do over at Joy Horror. And we always like to kind of plug our little horror stuff. So we don't get paid for these, but I like to let everybody know about this game right here. It's called, hold on, let me see if I can get it into frame a little bit. There we go. We swapped it a little bit. Whoops, we're losing our little set here. It's by Venom Haas. Venom Haas is a gaming company. They've got a t-shirt brand as well too, but this is like a really demented Cards Against Humanity. Yeah. It's all about killing people.
So right up my alley.
Right up there. Dude, we have it. We're gonna do a segment where we actually play it, and we've one of our new sponsors. I haven't plugged them on this, but they're a gaming place. It's called New Games Plus, and we're gonna actually go there and play a little bit of this game together. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But other than that, guys, today we have invited Dylan Hamrick here. Now, Dylan, tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay.
My name's Dylan. I'm 25. I run a pretty popular Instagram out here called the Hotspot ABQ.
Okay. Yep.
We focus on underground journalism, different things, promoting businesses, musical artists, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that doesn't get focused on normally.
We use you too, man. I mean, we've advertised on your platform. Awesome. It's awesome.
Stuff that the mainstream media here in town probably wouldn't focus on.
Correct. Right. Yeah, that's, I've noticed that this is kind of a trend that's happening on social media with these underground journalisms, like you said. There's a place in Dallas called Dallas on Dallas TV or something. They do the kind of same thing where I was from. And it's fun to see you guys show stuff that, like you said, the mainstream media won't, and it's kind of uncensored too. That's the reason why I really like it, Dylan, because it's fact. It's not this. And I get you need network television. We need the news, the regular news, stuff like this. But I think this kind of thing that happens, what you're doing is really beneficial for the community, because you also promote community events here in Albuquerque. He does, like he said, musicians, guys. If you're a musician, hit him up, dude. He's got his page. How many followers you got?
Right now I'm sitting a little over 53,000.
53,000 on Instagram, guys. That's awesome. I mean, we got like 21. We had 30, but I don't know what happened. I think there were a lot of fake accounts that kind of hit us when we first started. Bots and stuff like that. And I think that Instagram's kind of caught on and it eliminates them for us. But yeah, that's great, man. I got to tell you, there's been some videos you've posted that I'm always like the other day, guys, I'm going to put up this little clip during this, but that tractor trailer, or the big tanker truck, you were there. It was hanging off the fucking side of the freeway. Yeah. And this guy, one of the first people on the spot, and he has it up on his site. And then so how do you do that? Do you do a police scanner? Let me ask you.
I want to do the police scanner stuff.
This reminds me of there's a movie, it's a thriller.
I know what,
Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah,
I fucking love Nightcrawler. Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal kills it in that horror film. Yeah. And I call it a horror film because at the end there's all that shit. Right. I want to ruin it for people, but anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I mean, we just get people that'll hit me up. They'll DM us and say, hey, such and such is going on at Walmart. You should check it out. And if it's something kind of like with the tractor trailer thing, I was never actually there. Yeah. It was somebody that had hit me. Hit me up and said, hey, this just happened. You should post something about it. And I'm like, all right, well, what information can you give me? Over there? And they'll tell me what it is, and then I'll kind of go into it.
So do you get videos sent to you too? Do people send you stuff and
all
then
the time? The majority of the videos that we get that are posted, I'd say probably about 85% of them are stuff that people are sending into us saying, hey, somebody else needs to know about this.
That's cool.
And we go about posting.
That's fantastic. Well, you ready to get into this thing, guys? Okay, well. Dylan, we ask our big 3 questions every single, and he knows he's a fan, guys. Look at this, I love it. So, guys, subscribe, everything on all of our socials. But we always ask the big 3 questions at the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna take the first question today, and the first question is, Dylan, what is your all-time favorite horror movie?
So it goes between 2, and there's stark differences from each other. One's an old horror movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Which,
fucking love it. We got our clown mask right here.
Yeah. And then pretty much the entire Terrifier series.
God, I love that. I love that. Right. So I told you we've marketed with, or we've talked with the Terrifier guys. They also did it's called Fuzz Off the Limbs Productions. Damien Leone wrote it, but we have those guys. David Allen, Howard Thornton, Damien. You've got the Levy Boys, Jason and Mike. They do Fuzz on the Lens. They they got into something pretty special about that series, man. And I love it because of the gore. We all love it.
Yeah.
Gore,
And
right?
practical effects. I mean, they're not heavy CGI based, so you bringing that practical effect nature back to mainstream is just, in my opinion, like super important just for horror in general, because that's, as kids, like that's kind of what we all grew up on for the most part.
Right. Yeah, the CGI stuff is getting a little much. I mean, I'm not saying much. It's just like we all can tell about it, but when they actually put the work in on this practical stuff, Dylan, yeah, that's one of my favorite things. And then I got to tell you, if you mentioned this in our pre-interview when we were talking about it, it started with a short film, the Terrifier series. And what I love about it is it was like the first film was like $100,000 budget. And I think it was crowdfunded on Indiegogo. And then obviously they hired David Howard Thornton, who is Art the Clown. He's the perfect Art the Clown.
Yeah, they're never going to be able to replicate that.
No.
I don't care. The rest of my life, future lives, whatever, you're not going to be able to replicate
It's
David's
like Robert England. They tried to do it with Freddy. You can't do it.
You can't do it without Robert England.
You can't do it without Robert England. And you get these people that become these characters, and that one in specific is Art, because Art never talks. We've had many conversations about Art and the satire and everything kind of behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's great.
It's hilarious. I gotta tell you, one of my favorite scenes in Terrifier 2 is when him and Laura Laverna, she's the I forget the actress or the character's name, but they're in the costume shop and he's putting on the glasses.
He's putting on the sunflower glasses.
Yeah, the sunflower glasses. Everybody knows. I've got to get us a set of sunflower glasses.
I know, right?
Yeah. We'll get those taken care of. Hey, David, maybe you can send them over to us. Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to get us a pair of sunflower glasses. Anyway, yeah, man, Terrifier. I got to tell you, Killer Clowns of Outer Space. I love that too. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, 88 is when it came out.
Did you guys see the announcement just recently?
No.
Ryan Gosling's. They're rebooting it.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're rebooting it. Ryan Gosling is producing it. Amazon's picked it up.
Okay.
So they're going to do a new Killer Clowns. Now, don't quote me on that, but quote me on that because I know I read it in Deadline. So it's going to be again, I got to tell you, I feel like it's Amazon, so maybe a lot of CGI and stuff. The original, a lot of practical, a lot of cool effects with that.
Hopefully they bring
real
back that
cheesy and
popcorn
campy.
gun.
Yeah, the popcorn gun.
Yeah. Which actually was one of the most expensive parts of prop-wise on that set. It was $7,000 to build that popcorn gun. And back in '88, that's like probably what, like
$2 million.
30 grand today. Yeah.
Dylan's like 88. When were you born?
99.
Exactly. Oh no, we lost our spider. It's totally fine. Anyway, he just jumped off. Speaking of spiders, we've got somebody fun coming on with spiders. Yep. Anyway, that's the thing. So Ben, you want to take the second question?
So in terms of horrors as like, as a whole, who is your favorite horror villain?
It's Art the Clown.
Art the Clown.
There we go.
Yeah.
David Howard Thornton, your super fans right here, brother. Okay, we'll get you on the show.
No contest.
We got to bring in, and you and Dylan's got to meet. Uh-oh.
Right.
Hold on, guys. We got to reset. Morgan, can you come out here? I just knocked over a bunch of stuff. I didn't mean to.
We need tape.
Hold on. Yeah, just pause. We'll just pick it up. Yeah, just throw those back on there. Here, move her over here. Well, it'll be fine. What is it? Continuity, whatever. Who gives a shit? Right. It's going to be fine. And that's easier for me to grab anyway.
True.
Okay. We're going to start back. We're going to start back again with. Tell me when to go, guys. Count us down.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah, Art the Clown, man. He's let's talk about some of his kills real quick, because the reason why we call this show Creative Kill is because when I was a kid, I used to watch all kinds of horror movies. You and I talked about this. Ben talked about this last time. We had really crazy parents that would let us watch stuff when we were younger. So when I would see a kill on screen, I'd be like, oh my God, that's a creative kill. And that's how the name of our show came. But there are kills in Terrifier.
Yes, it's the
What's your favorite?
My favorite, probably the chick getting cut in half in the first one.
It's everybody's.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Part 2, we're on the bed. That's a brutal fucking scene too, man. Where he shows up at the house and he's doing trick or treating or whatever, it's Halloween, and then he chases her upstairs and it's this huge chase scene, and he's just tearing her apart, and she's dragging herself. I mean, just the intensity of what Damien does with practical effects, it's fucking beautiful.
Awesome.
It is artistic. It's beautiful. Yes, does it look like a big gory bloody scene? Yeah, it does.
That's what makes it
Fucking
great.
great.
That's
Yeah,
what makes
iconic.
it great.
Right.
Yeah.
It's and it's the most blood I've seen in a long time in films. I mean, it's like when we see the Netflix stuff and the CGI stuff that's like heads blowing up and stuff like that.
They shy away from it. They shy away from the gore, which is something that I feel like Damien got really brave doing, and it worked out extremely well for him.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a whole unique thing with Art's character is so vastly different from any other horror character. In terms of you don't really know if he's human or if he's you know what I mean.
Well,
if
I
he's
hear
this
we're
demonic
gonna find out in Terrifier 4.
Oh, man,
they're
I'm
gonna
so
do
excited.
they're doing his backstory.
Oh,
so we're
okay.
all gonna have to go see that together.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, there's that. Well, the fact that they never gave him a backstory.
Right.
And I know you could have sort of said the same thing with Michael Myers in the original Halloween, but they more notified you throughout it. They've
evolved it. Yeah.
This is a patient of a psych ward,
Right.
that kind of stuff. They never gave any background information to Art.
Right,
the Clown.
and then in 2, it was weird because the whole ending, he's like his head, and then he's like getting birthed again, or I don't know. Like you said, we don't know what the fuck he is.
we don't know what he is, but yeah, it's whatever went through Damien's mind when he was coming up with these ideas and stuff like that. There's not going to be another director, producer, anybody in the horror genre that's going to be able to replicate any of his ideas.
No.
Any of the scenes and just the general feel of the movie will
Right.
never be replicated.
And I got to tell you what I love about these guys too. And I'm shouting you guys out over Fuzz Up the Lens. No, seriously. They do grassroots campaigns. They get out and they meet their fans. They get out there and they really, really. I was, and we'll plug it here in a minute, but I was emailing with some people from Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting and stuff about the Toxic Avenger stuff. We'll get into that a little later. But, studios offered him to come in and buy that franchise. And he said no because he couldn't do it the way he wanted to do it.
Well, I think what
You
they
know?
were telling him was something
too
along
gory.
the lines of, it's
Yeah,
too
it's
gory,
too
we got to
gory.
tone it back.
Yeah.
That's not Terrifier without it.
No, it's not Terrifier without it. And then the other thing with art is, like you just said, it's like nobody would go see it if it was dumbed down.
Yeah.
We don't want to go see Art the Clown when it's like PG-13, if you know what I mean. It's like, that would be fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it's almost like they were trying to do like a Pennywise kind of like feel.
I was about to
And
say
it's
the same
like-
thing.
Right.
Like,
It's
if I wanted to dumb down Art the Clown, I'd just go watch
Yeah,
it.
well,
Exactly.
Pennywise, Pennywise kills kids, but then Terrifier 3, Art kills a lot of fucking kids. If you guys seen the Santa Claus scene, just get ready for it.
Right.
And then we were talking about it earlier. In Terrifier 3, it's the only time we've seen Art use a gun, too.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, it's like we were kind of surprised about that. Like, holy shit, he's actually used a gun. But yeah, that's great. All right. Okay, so let's get on to your third question, okay? So we always ask our guests this big third question. And it's kind of like, what horror movie, like you're a kid or you were an adult and it just really sat with you, kind of fucked with you in your psyche, made you go, just like it sits rent-free in your head.
The one movie that sits rent free in my head is Insidious, the original Insidious, which
Love
is
it.
funny because, like I had said, I grew up watching horror movies. Whether it had been Jeepers Creepers, Paranormal Activity, a lot of the old B-rate stuff from the 70s, and stuff that should have terrified me as a 5 or 6 year old kid, but didn't. I truly enjoyed watching them, and then
Same.
I don't know exactly how old I was when Insidious came out, but my dad took me to the movie theaters to go and watch it.
How old were you?
I want to say I was 10 or 11 when it came out.
This is what we were just saying. My dad did the same thing, and his dad did the same thing.
Yeah, he took
think-
me to go watch that, and I had watched. And looking back at it now, there's much scarier, more terrifying movies than Insidious.
Oh yeah.
And something, I don't know exactly what it was, or it had been the jump thing or the fact that this kid's stuck in a dream.
Right.
That kind of stuff that just stuck with me, and to this day as an adult, I still have a hard time getting through that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then obviously the revolutionized shot of, shit, now I forgot the actor's name. Anyway, but when he moves his head and you have the entity behind him, the red face. I mean, that right there.
Yeah, it was the chick saying, I think it was the mom, not the mom or the grandma.
The grandmother
had sat there saying like she felt like there was something bad in the house or something like that, and then you just see his face behind her, and that is the scene from that movie that's still.
Oh, it's everybody. Yeah, it makes everybody shit their pants because you see it, you're like, what? Yeah, I love that franchise. Again, I love the first couple, but then it got a little. That's the studios for you. Studios are going to bleed something as much as they can with cash grabs as they can. Right. It's like I went and saw, and I enjoyed it. I went and saw the new Final Destination. Okay. But again, it's one of those. It really didn't have a whole lot of legs to it. It kind of tells the backstory of Final Destination about how the whole thing kind of got started. I did enjoy Tony Todd's cameo in it before he's passed away, the late Tony Todd. Thank you, Tony. We loved you. You're great, Candyman. It's kind of with Insidious, the last one. It did not get good reviews at all. It was like Insidious 6 or whatever it is. But the first 2 or 3, I fucking love it. I love them. They're great films. And they're also, so like you said, imaginative about the dream and all this stuff that's happening. It's just, and they use red in that. It's like our backdrop, lots of red. And that's, I got to tell you, obviously that kind of relates to horror and,
that red is definitely given, doesn't matter what horror movie uses it gives the undertone of just violence and evil. And,
always,
just a feeling of hate throughout the movie. And Insidious did a really good job with doing that.
Yeah, especially considering, I was telling you guys earlier, a little fun fact. It was filmed in 21 days. I mean,
what?
Yeah, in less than a month that movie was made. They were just on such a fast track.
Yeah, that was so crazy to me because it's so well made.
Yeah,
it's not a poorly made movie. No. But for 21 days, it's amazing what they were able to do.
Yeah, 21 days, that's pretty quick. Yeah. That's pretty quick.
It's a fast turnaround.
That's our shooting schedule too, Ben. Sorry. Anyway, we're giving a little stuff away.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, Insidious, great. Well, we're going to take a break right now, guys. Okay, so Dylan, this is where we segue into the second half of the show. And Ben, do you want to ask him? I mean, basically.
Yeah. So basically, we like to just kind of do a little bit of a storytelling time, basically.
Story time,
where the guest tells us something that maybe supernatural happened to you, or some type of just experience you may have had throughout your course of your life, or whatever the case may be. Do you happen to have a story that corresponds to that?
Yeah. So pretty much, I grew up. You guys remember those like big box TVs?
Yep.
Yeah. Do we remember them? Do I remember them?
Carrying those suckers around was like a workout in itself.
Yeah. When I got my first Sony Trinitron, it was like $1,000 and it was huge. It was like this big, but it weighed like 1,000,000 pounds. But anyway, go ahead.
So we, growing up, we moved around a lot. My dad was a contractor, so we had moved to North Carolina, Pittsburgh, that kind of stuff. But we always had this giant box television that we always had in the living room. And there wasn't anything creepy about the TV, but me and my brothers decided one day we were going to buy a Ouija board. Because like I said, we just loved watching
Here we go again with the Ouija board, guys. I love it.
And we had started messing with it, kind of playing with it. Didn't really think anything of it after the fact, because we figured one of us is moving the piece, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we just.
Are you there? Real quick, your brothers. How many brothers do you have?
Let's see. I got a few of them. I got 5.
Are they older? Are you younger? Or?
So there's one younger. The rest are older.
Okay, so you were figuring.
So, I'm towards the bottom.
Yeah. So you were like, maybe they were fucking with me.
So the 2 that I grew up with are Brandon and Chris. And it was pretty much, we would always do stuff to kind of mess with each other.
Oh, of course, your brothers.
So buying the Ouija board, looking back on it now, was a mistake in the sense that we weren't going to get anything out of it because one of us was going to mess with it at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we went and bought this Ouija board, snuck it into the house against my mom's wishes of us ever having anything like that inside the house.
That's what we all do.
And And we started playing with it and left it alone. My mom eventually found out about it and threw out the thing. But all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, it was probably a gradually build up of months and months of we'd wake up in the middle of the night or something to the TV just being on, and it would, and what was weird about it is because we
Some poltergeist shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it wasn't like on static or anything like that. It'd always be on like the old Popeye or like the Betty Boop cartoons, which we enjoyed because we liked watching them and stuff too. So we would sit there and watch it, and we'd go and my mom would wake up, tell us to go back to bed. She'd go and shut off the TV. We'd start walking out of the living room. TV would turn back on.
Oh gosh.
So it was little stuff like that, and it eventually my mom just assumed maybe there's a short or something.
Right.
So a couple months into it, my mom decided to start trying to unplug the TV at night, and of course she would go and unplug it, and the TV would turn on without the TV being plugged into the wall on the same cartoon. It was like,
Fuck around and find out, everybody. That's all I'm saying.
And so she kept doing that, and we had finally moved back to Albuquerque when I was probably 13 or 14, still with this TV in the house, and it was doing it again in this new house that we got. So finally my mom got tired of it and assumed if we got rid of the TV, it would get rid of the issue. So we got rid of the TV right before we moved out of the first house that we were living in back in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And we had gone in to grab something out of the main bedroom, and I had like this weird feeling when I walked in the house, which, I mean, I'm paranoid when it comes to like ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean?
Well, we are. That's why we love this shit. That's why we're doing this show. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I had walked back into the house. I went and turned on all the lights, and turned on all the lights in the house, walking to her room to go grab her purse or something she had forgotten. And it was like the day after we had gotten rid of this TV, and I come back out of the room after I'd shutting the door going into it, you know, because I didn't want to look down that long hallway. And I'd come back out, and all the pictures frames and stuff were on the floor, but all the lights in the house were shut off too.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so that was like, I mean, outside of that, it's been like little stuff with that TV. There were other times we would see like, it looked like rings of smoke falling from the top of it.
Oh,
and it would be like while people were there, you know what I mean?
Yes.
We're throwing a party, and you would just see like smoke just coming out of the TV.
Wow.
That kind of stuff.
See, I love these kind of stories. I tell this story about, like, kind of what you said. We didn't play with a Ouija board, but I lived in an apartment complex that was built on an old motel. And this old motel in Dallas was like a crack hotel. You know, like what we got on Central. You know, we got some of those places on Central where The Walking Dead, I call them the grabbers.
Yeah, they look like that. They look like the zombies from The Walking
Central's
Dead.
The Walking Dead, unfortunately. But so we moved in. Beautiful apartment. I lived there with a roommate, Pete Saucedo. What's up, Pete? Say hi to you. And then Shelly got pregnant, and so he moved out. She moved in, and then we set up all the baby stuff. You know, then we had Charlotte, and then after we had Charlotte, you know, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how the shit's just everywhere. Yeah, Ben doesn't have kids, so he doesn't. But they throw their shit everywhere, and all those little baby Fisher-Price toys make noise.
Yeah.
And so we would be laying in bed, and Charlotte's crib is right next to our bed in our master bedroom. And the toys would turn on in the middle of the night. We'd hear them. And I would walk out there. I'd walk out there.
See,
and
you're brave. I wouldn't have walked out.
And there was a little, it's funny because there was this little, it was like a play cell phone, you know, and it had buttons. And you had to press the buttons to make it
to make it work.
Right. And that thing was going off constantly.
Oh my God.
And so again, with your television, that's kind of the same thing with us. It's just like, I don't know what happens if you get in these haunted areas or bring an entity with you or whatever. You know, I think it kind of just sticks around. And you know, ghost stories are. I get really I get really. I guess
Just
enthusiastic
engaged, right?
and engaged when it comes to stuff like this. I love watching TikTok videos.
I was just gonna say YouTube videos, man. Those ghost videos, like top 5 or whatever,
Yeah,
you know, top 10.
they're great.
I can't get enough
What is
of
it
them.
that is it paranormal? Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, Ghost Adventures.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Well, those guys are going through some stuff. And it's not ghosts. It's that that one of their camera guys or one of their hosts' ex-wife just tried to kill him.
Yeah, I think she hired a hitman
Yeah,
or
she hired
something.
a hitman. Was gonna hire a hitman, yeah.
Man.
Which is odd because he seemed nice. You know, he seemed nice.
Man, that's like I tell people, like, you don't know people when you get successful, then people think they get your money and all this. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna kind of switch up a little bit because I want to talk more about the Hotspot ABQ. What is like you deal with a lot of true crime stuff?
Yeah,
you deal with a lot. Like you post a lot of cross-post a lot of. He does. This is one of my favorite things that Dylan does. Mm-hmm. He posts the wanted people here in Albuquerque, the ones that have been actually really wanted and really, really bad guys, right? They've done violent crime and stuff like that. Have you been involved in anything like a case or anything like that? I was just
not so. As the Hotspot has been a page, no. I had friends. I wasn't around the right crowd of people. And stuff when I
We've
got
all been there, man. We talk about second chances and just evolving in life.
I wasn't around the right crowd of people a long time ago, and I used to go to house parties and stuff like that. And obviously, Albuquerque's known for people getting killed at these parties.
Yeah,
So I used to get pulled into the DA's office a lot because it was me that was throwing the house parties.
Oh, okay.
So outside of that, I mean, we'll get people. You know what I mean? If somebody says, "Hey," if there's an Amber Alert out in Albuquerque and stuff like that.
Do they tip you off? I mean, do they reach out to you?
People will reach out to me,
Yeah.
They'll reach out to me, and I'll either, sometimes even some of the cops or the detectives and stuff like that will reach out, and we just kind of got to go about it that way. Rather it's with some murder case or, hey, can you share this? Can you share video of this to your platform to see if somebody else?
Well, and then we just talked about this. You on some other stuff because we've been not banned or anything on Instagram, but obviously our content's horror and stuff like that. Have you ever been given anything that's like you're like I can't put this up?
Yeah, there's stuff, and I'm like, it's either I want to put it up.
I bet.
So it's not that I don't want to put it up, but there's stuff that are like, hey, we need you to share this, and it might be footage like security cam footage of somebody getting killed or something like that. Yeah. And because of the policy violations and stuff, because Instagram hates me. It's just stuff where if I were to go and post it, even though obviously I'm known as a news page, that kind of stuff, I don't want Instagram to go and hit it and be like, "Oh, you're promoting gun violence," and I'm like, "No, APD just asked me to post this."
Yeah, I just sometimes I don't get. I'm not talking about you, the Instagram thing, because there is tons of shit on there on Instagram that doesn't get flagged. And I'm just like,
well, it's funny because I had posted. It was, I can't remember what it was. You remember the two kids with they were holding a gun behind like an air conditioning.
Where they got the drone shot at them.
So I had to. The first post that I had put up about it was literally just a picture of a gun. Yeah. There are gun stores in Albuquerque that post everything that they have inside their shop, right? Yeah. Instagram hit me with the violation for it and demonetized us.
So do you think that's people complaining on you though? Like,
I think. I doubt it. I don't know.
Some kind of complaint or something, because I see that when you can like report.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they were to do that, it would kind of force Instagram, because I feel like when I'm hitting these policy violations, it's more of just like a generalized like AI kind of thing that's scrolling through these photos, and hitting us with that kind of stuff. But I don't feel like it's anybody reporting us, because I feel like they would actually, somebody from Instagram would actually have to go and dig into it and be like, what is this about? And have they seen, hey, this is just them reporting the news, we wouldn't have gotten hit with it. So I think it's just like that. But yeah, there's gun stores and stuff that hit me up for promos and that kind of stuff. That I'm like, you're not posting anything violent, or you know what I mean?
Right. You can put up there
and I'm like
tactical,
so worried
whatever.
about doing it.
Yeah, it's tough being in this, because then otherwise you got to jump over to a platform like Patreon or something that it's paid for, where you can put anything up. I mean, or get over to OnlyFans and do a news channel on OnlyFans. Right. There we go. That's our second thing.
At this point, I'm gonna have to start a Hotspot Feet Finders account or something.
Hotspot Feet Finder, Albuquerque feet. Well, great, man. Well, that's kind of I was always wanting to know. I'm very questioning the whole process of that, because I see these guys that do post different videos to other platforms than yours, and I'm just like I'm like, it's just real news of what's happening right now, and I just don't get it.
And a lot of people turn to it nowadays. I mean, not as many people chime into mainstream media as much anymore. You're getting a lot of your information from social media.
Yeah, that's what I like about it now. And as much as it's kind of odd that these mainstream news sources and stuff like that aren't getting the viewership they once were, they're also people just don't sit there and watch TV. You have streaming services, that kind of stuff, and a lot of these TV shows are going to Amazon Prime or that kind of stuff, where they're able to release their episodes and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I like about what I do is people are sitting on their phone all day, anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? Throughout the day, everybody's got an Instagram or Facebook or TikTok that they're checking once a day. So. And they might not have time because they're at work or something to go and watch TV, or they just want to go home and watch a movie on Netflix.
Yeah, and then when you're doom scrolling too, you just sit there.
You're gonna see my stuff anyway.
I want to kind of touch on what Ben just said too, about I like it because first off, I got to tell you guys real quick. He starts off with your weather report every morning. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I like to look at. That's what I reference now with your page. I get on there. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be 87 degrees today. Right. No, and then, then it's like traffic and stuff that's happening in our community. And I think that these, what you call an underground journalist, I think a lot of them do the same kind of thing, And so I think the reason why people get attracted and they want to, follow your channels and stuff is because you are real. Mm-hmm. You're a real person doing real stuff. And I'm not saying that it is network television. They have their fluff and they have to have their morning show and the way their news looks and all this stuff. And I think that people, you pay attention to that when it's on TV in your house. Yeah. But we're always on this son of a bitch right here. You know what I mean? So it's like when we see something, you're like, oh my God. But I also think it's more beneficial towards the true crime community because you do put stuff out and it goes viral, and then next thing you never know, you could see that person in Walmart. You know what I mean? It's better than Amber Alert. I'm telling you right now, because Amber Alerts annoy people. It's like, and instead when you're scrolling, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's something eye-catching. People are going to start focusing on little stuff that somebody else might have not noticed in the video. Right. And somebody, you have different stuff. There was that tragedy with Bale from Port Vita last year, where that security footage came out, and not a lot of people were aware that there was footage and photos of this guy walking out of the shot. And granted, they haven't caught him, which sucks. But I feel it's pages like mine, and that pages there's a page kind of like mine in Las Cruces and stuff like that.
It'll catch up.
Somebody will recognize. Hey, you're kind of built like the dude in that footage, and he was wearing the same hoodie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And all it takes is somebody calling in a tip line and saying, hey, I think this is the guy. All that cop has to do is go and ask some questions and do their own investigation, and it kind of helps them out in that sense that they're able to not have to work as hard and as dangerous of a position looking for a suspect rather than somebody can just see them.
That's a great way to put it. Well, guys, we're going to start wrapping this thing up. So, Dylan, go ahead and plug your stuff real quick. Here's your platform right here. So tell everybody what's your page, what you're on, everything, so we can get that locked up, and then I'll jump on to our next segment.
Yeah. So pretty much you guys can find me on Instagram and Instagram only. It's going to be at the hotspot _.abq. You'll see a picture of my pretty face or our logo, depending on when Meta
and your
decides
link's going to be all over this because we want to promote your channel. You promote our things. It's really great. Dylan has been, I got to tell you guys real quick, Dylan has been nothing short of amazing. He went through a little turmoil. Everybody does on social media. Don't worry about it. I know we did. Yeah. Same thing. We've had issues with former employees and stuff. But I got to tell you, you came to the table when I contacted you. I said, hey, man, I think I was one of these guys that may have gotten, scammed or whatever. You were like, John, whatever I need to do, we'll take care of it. And that's how you and I met. Yeah. And then it's funny, guys, we're shooting this series of live shows over at the Lobo. And guess what? Dylan's mom manages that. So we met her, and then it all got connected. Yeah. So we're all connected right now. We're super excited. Thank you for coming on the show, Dylan. It's awesome. Let's just hold off for a bit. I've got another segment, guys, and we'll get to our closing stuff, okay? Cool. Dylan, stay with us real quick. All right, we appreciate it. So my Creative Kill fans, every single big Creative Kill live show that we do here in Studio A, I try to do a moment that's called Helping with Horror. And you can see it right here in our little spot right now. Helping with Horror basically highlights charities, programs, things that are happening in the community here in Albuquerque and any other places that we're constantly, we're trying to help people with different things. We've promoted charities such as the Camp Lejeune stuff, with the United States Marines, the California Fires. We talk about just helping anybody in general. If you've got something and you want us to promote it, just send it to us. And so I was sent this flyer about 4 days ago asking how to promote an event. And I know this is not an event that happens globally or anything. This actually pertains to our community. But this year we are, the city of Albuquerque, it looks like, the Bernalillo County and several other organizers have gotten together the Summer of Nonviolence. Now, if you're familiar with Albuquerque, New Mexico, as of recently, crime has been absolutely terrible. Young people are killing themselves. It's horrible. The gun violence here is absolutely awful. So they're trying to create community events that are peaceful, that are kids aren't going to be bringing guns, stuff like that. So this one is going to be called Free Summerween, and it's kind of like a halfway to Halloween situation. So they're going to have a teen dance, so ages 13 to 18 years old, you can come to this thing. It's going to be at the Oasis Event Center at 3700 Ellison in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They're going to have a costume contest. They're going to have a DJ battle. They're having a dance battle. They have all kinds of fun stuff that's going to happen. It's Aaliyah Summer Nights. I just wanted to promote this little event that's happening here in Albuquerque for them. We're going to cut it out, make it into a reel as well. So everybody, Albuquerque Hotspot, we just had Dylan on. He'll be back with us here shortly, but he's promoted the event as well. Listen, we just want to get these kids out of the streets. And that's what it is, okay? Gun violence has gotten way too crazy in the Albuquerque, New Mexico, or in New Mexico in general, all right? It just seems like every time we're turning on the news, there's another shooting, another shooting, another shooting. These kind of events promotes kids getting out there and just being able to be kids, especially teenagers. Now, throughout social media and all these social pressures that they all have on them, maybe it's time for us to start doing us as adults, as Gen X, as the millennials, the ones that are leading this country now. The boomers are kind of out of it, guys. All right, we've got to help these kids on a path that is it's gonna make them successful, and then also just let them be teenagers and let them be kids without worrying about going somewhere and getting shot. So anyway, I just want to let everybody know the event's going to be posted. As you see the flyer right here. Again, it's called Free Summerine Team Dance, or it's kind of a halfway to Halloween thing. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of costumes. I hope there's going to be some creepy stuff. We support them 100%. Good luck to you guys. We hope your event's amazing. And that's our Helping with Horror today.
Hey Dylan, congrats on the new website, man. Super happy for you. Really proud of all your success, and it's awesome what you're doing in the community and whatnot, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I really do appreciate you coming on too, Dylan. This has been a great show. And now we get to thanking our sponsors once again, Ben. So today, guys, we want to thank our first sponsor, which is 519 Studios. We love our studio.
Thank you, 519.
And then we want to thank IPS Global Security. Then we want to thank Duke City Toys. We want to thank Crown Jewels and Coin. And we finally want to thank our big thanks to Joy Horror Entertainment, to Wolf Krusemark Art, guys. Are you going okay, man?
I think I'm doing pretty good, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyway, okay, guys. And anyway, we want to thank him. We're going to be signing off today. So, Creative Kill, where the guest always has a killer experience. Man, that was a great show. Too bad this guy's not going to make it.
Yeah. Win some, lose some.
Duke City Toys, for new and used toys, games, and collectibles. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, board games, Albuquerque's largest selection of wrestling collectibles, and so much more. When it comes to toys, we don't play. Duke City Toys.